Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to a brand new video. I am UEP, you are the viewers, and please start out this video by hitting the like button, smash that like button. If you disagree with the result of this video, which is Mitch McConnell does win re-election, then go ahead and leave a dislike, that's fine, or just tell me, uh, you know, uh, say what you think in the comment section below, because I do want to hear you guys have to say. So yeah, and if you already aren't subscribed, please do. Around only a third of my viewers are generally subscribed. So if you guys could help me by hitting that big red button, please do that. I would much appreciate. Also, we are currently at 247 subs. If we get to 250 by the end of the weekend, that would be much appreciated, and hopefully we can do it honestly. If our channel has the potential to grow like this, share it with your friends, put it in the comment section of the videos or their Discord. So yeah, so we're gonna get started with this race, and generally a Senate race in Kentucky would not be competitive. You know, Rand Paul's 2022 race isn't going to be contested, but Kentucky is an interesting state because they are filled to the brim with conservative Democrats. In fact, there are more registered Democrats in Kentucky than registered Republicans, which is, very interesting because Kentucky is a red state, and it has been for the past 20 years. I mean, like it wasn't super red in 2000, but it was a red um uh but it was a red state in 2000, even though it was somewhat close. So anyways, so this is Mitch McConnell is running for re-election. He's currently the second most unpopular senator in the United States, only 37% approval rating and a 50% disapproval. So what does that mean? That means that a majority of Kentuckians disapprove of him. That's not good news for him, because it's never good news to be unpopular. So basically, okay, so basically, this race is interesting because, as I mentioned, McConnell, unpopular. Democrats are winning a very, very strong candidate in Amy McGrath, who does have a future in politics. I mean, she made, let's just talk about this. Okay, I don't. Okay. 2018 Kentucky 6th District election with Wikipedia. Okay, so let's just talk about this. Okay, so in the 6th District, look, let's look at 2018, okay? If we can find the results. So in 2018, Amy McGrath, she challenged Andy Barr, who is the very popular incumbent, and is gonna win, and Barr's gonna win re-election again. And in McGrath, she came very close. She lost by a couple thousand votes. And she got a lot of most of the conservative Democrats who are starting, and really quickly, I just want to define conservative Democrats. These are Democrats who generally are registered Democrats, but mostly vote red. At the presidential level, they voted for Bill Clinton back in the 90s. Some voted for Al Gore in 2000, but since then, they have mostly turned away from the party, and most of them vote for Trump, and most of them are going to vote for Trump in this election because they're conservative Democrats who have more conservative values. And the Democrats are moving to the left, and they are not the moderate 90s Democrats that they once were. So, yeah, however, that doesn't stop them from voting Democrat at other levels. Like in the House, a lot of them most of them actually voted for McGrath, and they switched to the Democrat side. In 2019, they elected Andy Beshear as their governor. Beshear is a conservative Democrat, and he narrowly won over Bevin, who was pretty unpopular. And Kentucky actually does have a Democratic-controlled state legislature, I believe, or they did a few years ago. So, yeah. So McGrath did a very good job of getting a lot of conservative Democrats on board in her race, but she still lost to Barr because, again, this 6th district is a very, very rural district, and it would have been nearly impossible for her to pull off the upset against Andy Barr. So yeah. And let's just compare this. So in 2018, McGrath, she lost. She got 48% of the vote. In 2016, the Democrat there got 38% of the vote, so basically 10% improvement. 2014, they got 40% of the vote, so they're consistently, getting not a good portion of the vote here. And I believe they won it in 2010. That was the last time that they won it with Ben Shandor. So, anyways, yeah, solid red district that came very close to flipping. And so Amy McGrath is a very strong campaigner, and she's going to run a strong campaign. She also out fundraised Mitch McConnell, and she raised $8 million in a race in a very rural House district. So, she's a good fundraiser, and she has support from a lot of Democrats who want to see Mitch McConnell gone. Now, let's look at the polling, and this is where it starts to get bad for McGrath. There was a poll that came out only a few days ago that had McGrath trailing by 22, and she won't lose by that much, for sure. McConnell by 4, McConnell by 14, McConnell by 20. Although this one was against Charles Booker. McGrath ahead by 1 in this one poll, but tie, let's see, 41-41. So, yeah, that's Amy McGrath. She isn't polling very well, and that's not good news for her because if we look at governor, or else it's either Bashir versus Bevin polls, Bevin was actually leading consistently, although some of these polls actually did have Bashir ahead. So he was actually leading, basically because Bevin was so unpopular. Remember, Matt Bevin was one of the most unpopular governors to ever govern a state, and he actually only lost that race by a couple thousand votes. He lost by 5,000 votes. So, yeah, it was close still, but yeah. So Democrats, when they do win in Kentucky at a statewide level, it's always very close, and basically, I'll just say that McGrath has a very low chance of winning compared to what Bevin had. Now, if we look at Kentucky according to JHK forecast, they only give McGrath a 1% chance of winning. It's actually a lot harder than that according to my model. We give her a 9. Well, I give her a 9.3 percent chance of winning. So yeah. It'll be close in the margins, but again, McGrath is certainly not the favorite to win in this state. We also have to take into account that in 2014, Mitch McConnell was as unpopular as he is right now, and he had a very tough opponent, Allison Lundergan Grimes, who she was the Secretary of State, so she was essentially officiating her own race, basically, and that is not good for her. And she still lost. Now, I guess that does mean that she didn't cheat, so that's good. But remember that she really did not. She ran a very strong campaign, but didn't reach out to the conservative Democrats, and that's why she lost to McConnell so badly. Fast forward to 2019, where Bashir did just that, and he flipped a lot of these counties from red to blue. So, does McGrath have a chance? Yes, she most certainly does. But it's not looking too good for her. And also, we have to basically talk about how she had a very close primary with Charles Booker, who she out fundraised Booker a ton in her race, but she still only won by 3 points. So that's always interesting to see. Booker also did better than her in a lot of the more urban counties, which could hurt her because Democrats have always won in Kentucky's urban counties. But if McGrath can't keep the turnout high, she has no chance of beating McConnell. She has to raise turnout from these regions, and she also has to just get back a lot of these blue collar coal mining conservative Democrats who have turned away from the party. And she cannot she cannot afford to repeat the mistakes of Allison Lundergan Grimes, and basically she has to actually, I've been saying this a lot, she has to take away the swing voters from McConnell, who she has a very good chance at doing that because McConnell is the definition of the establishment, and these voters hate the establishment. So it's pretty safe to say that 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 she has a chance, but she probably won't win. Plus the fact that this is a presidential election year in Kentucky, they elect Democrat governors, and they will occasionally, elect Democrats to the Senate. Although it doesn't really happen that much. Back in the '90s, it happened, but not really. And right now, if we look at this, Kentucky plus 16 for Donald Trump net approval, and these results are taken every single day. And so, yeah. And so McConnell's unpopular. Trump. Okay, so basically, here's the good news from McGrath. There was one poll that has her ahead of McConnell. Um, uh, McConnell is very unpopular, and Andy Beshear was elected governor back in 2019. So Democrats actually have won in Kentucky. The bad news, most of the other polls have her behind McConnell. In 2016, Donald Trump actually smacked Hillary Clinton here, although that was expected, and Trump will beat Biden in the state as well. More bad news from McGrath is that she had a very tough primary that was tougher than it really was supposed to be, and she did outraise McConnell, but first of all, she outraised her opponent Andy Barr in this race as well, but still lost. B, the Republican super PACs are going to be pouring money into this race to keep their Senate Majority Leader alive in the Senate. So, bottom line, she has a chance, and if she does continue to run a strong campaign, she could win or make it competitive. But she's not the favorite right now, and I have to acknowledge that in this prediction. Now, do I want to see McConnell gone? Yes, I don't. I hate Mitch McConnell. I think he's bad for the country. He does a lot about shady stuff behind people's backs. But at the same time, I have to acknowledge that Kentuckians are probably not going to vote him out. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you all in the next one.